Okay, so basically today I'm going to be talking about the basics of beginner keyboard, intermediate keyboard. If you're watching this video and your screen's small, you can enlarge the screen. There's a little button to enlarge the video, and then if you turn your phone sideways, you'll get a bigger view. Just so FYI, in case you didn't know that when you're watching YouTube. I want to explain to you some things about scales, major scale, chromatic scale, and then simple chords. We're going to be in the key of C. And if you didn't know this already, there's 12 notes in a chromatic scale. So chromatic would be from C to C, where you don't miss any notes. That would be 12 notes. If we take those 12 notes and break them down into something musical, you have what's known as the major scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, so 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you can do something with that. That can become musical at that point. Then what you want to do is make a chord. So a C chord, for example. Now I'm not going to... Somebody might say, oh, you're showing this wrong, you're not showing this right. Well, I'm not going to reveal everything because it would be overwhelming. So this is for beginners and intermediate people. This is not for advanced people. So you have a C chord by placing your thumb on the C note. And if we were to count these notes, remember what we said, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But if we were to give them a number, 1 through 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're on the 1, the 3, and the 5, okay? That being said, you can play it, you can add another 1 note with your pinky, okay? So you can do that. You can play it like this, with these fingers, with these fingers, or you could play it with these fingers, okay? So this is a C chord. This is known as the triad of a chord. It's the 1 and the 3 and the 5 of the chord. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As we mentioned. Now that's a C major chord. A C minor chord would be to take the middle note down 1/2 step. So that is a C minor chord. Okay? C major, happy sound, bright. Minor chord, sad sounding. Okay? Happy, sad. Okay? So in a C major scale, you have, basically to become musical, you have the 1 chord, which this is the 1 note. Remember, we gave these notes numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? You got a 4 note and a 5 note. That's going to become important. This is our 1 chord. This is our 4 chord. That will be an F chord. And that is a G chord. That will be our 5 chord. So now we have something musical. Okay. Now this is the simplest form. I'm breaking this down so simple. Now what you want to do later is make these chords what's called an inversion. Instead of moving your thumb over here and taking a long walk, the long way home to the F, long way home to the G, you can play these chords by moving the middle notes. There's a C. This is an inversion of F. And this is an inversion of G. Now there's more than one inversion and there's more than one way to do this. But now we are taking a shortcut. And it's a lot easier for your hands to do this, especially when you're busy playing a lot of chords. You don't want to jump from here to here. That's a long jump. And then it becomes tedious for you to watch what you're doing without missing anything. Now if I'm going too fast, of course, rewind the tape, video. Oh, I'm old school. Rewind the tape. Rewind the video. Okay, to see what's going on. My left hand is just playing octaves. C, F, F, G, G, C, F, C. So that's what was going on there. In case you can't see my left hand. So that is much simpler than me jumping with my thumb. Because now I'm literally having to watch both hands. So my left hand is making a long jump already. So if I can get my right hand to make short movements, then basically I'm left watching my left hand, instead of trying to watch both hands and make sure that I'm getting the right notes. Okay? So that being said, I'm going to back up a bit. As we mentioned, or as I mentioned, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. This is a major 7 note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is your major 7 note. This note here, 1/2 step down from it, is commonly referred to as a 7. Some people say dominant 7. And that is a chord that you will use. For example, you may play this. So this would be a C major 7 chord. And I can leave out the 5th or leave out the 3rd, or I can add them in. Okay, so there's the 1 note, the 3 note, the 5, and the major 7. Now for musical taste, you could leave out 1. And then when you play the 7, you could do the same thing. You know, you may find yourself leaving out the 3rd. Okay. So the black keys are referred to as sharps or flats. So if we went up in a C major scale and did not play any black notes, we would have some minor chords, and here's what I mean. This is C major. This, however, is D minor. This would be D major here. Happy, sad. Okay? C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor. This would be A major. Okay? A minor. And then this would be a B minor with a flat 5. This would be a B minor. Our 5th note comes down 1 if we were going to stay on all the white keys. Now that chord, don't get hung up on that chord. It's not really that relevant at this point. I was just explaining that if you were to stay on all white keys all the way up, you're going to have some minor chords in there. So if we wanted to stay all major, it would be totally different. C major, D major, E major, F major, G major, A major, and B major. Okay? So typically, when you're in a scale, you are not going to always go to the very next major chord. I mean, that would be kind of a weird move, typically musically. we might go C, F, G, F, and then we might go to an A minor as an example. Okay? And I'm playing an inversion here instead of jumping all the way up to here and playing that A minor. I'm just going to change one note and I have an A minor here. Now it's an inversion, right? Okay. So these are some of the basics of keyboarding. I'm just rolling 4 notes. Okay. And I'm not playing this note here. Okay. So I just threw that in there. I'm kind of jumping ahead here. I did want to mention different ways to play C. So we have a C this way. We have a 1 note, 3 note, and a 5. Remember, we're back to counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 1, 3, 5. This could also be a C chord. Now we could have another name as well, but just for... And now I'm going to play it one more way. It's the same 3 notes. I'm just changing where my thumb is. And if you listen, it's just a nice way to play a C chord. Okay. So there are different ways. You don't always have to have your thumb on the 1, as we've already discussed when we were going from C to F. Our thumb is not on the F note. Our thumb is on the C note. C, F. Same thing is true when you want to play a different way to play a C chord, because you like the way it sounds. Okay. So that's the beginning, for example, that's the beginning of an Elton John song. Okay, so I'm just throwing that in there. What you want to figure out on your own is the way this works in other keys as well, because the principles are all the same for other keys. I'm going to go one more key up. I'm just going to go to D, the key of D, okay? So now D becomes the 1. Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. And if we give them numbers, this is the new 1 now. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? We've got the 1, the 3, and the 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's our D major. Okay? And that's just... I'm taking the same 3 notes and playing them a different way. Okay? So in the key of D major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember we talked about the 1, the 4, and the 5? So the 1 chord is D, the 4 chord is going to be G, and the 5th chord is going to be A. So in the key of D, now I jumped all the way up to that A, but I'm going to show you a different way to play the A. There it is right there. Remember, we want economy of movement. We don't want to be having to watch our right hand. Okay. So just remember, you have a chromatic scale, which is not missing any notes, and then you have a major scale, which is 8 notes. That's D major. Sorry. And then you have a triad, which is the 3 notes that make up the chord. Okay. Those are some pretty good basics for you to know. Inversions. That's a G inversion. Playing G left hand. That's an A inversion. Playing A right hand. Left hand as well. Sorry. Okay, so that's a 1, 4 chord, 5 chord in the key of D. Now in the key of C, let's move back to C. 1 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord in the key of C. Okay? So you can take this information and use it in any scale should be easy to do. Alright, thanks a lot.